Hey guys, Dan here with another quick book review. This time I'm reviewing The Rum Diary by Hunter S. Thompson. I will have to admit that this is the first time I have ever read anything by Hunter S. Thompson. And a weird kind of little story. I had a roommate who in 2005 went out to Colorado and was a part of a team of people who cataloged and organized all of Hunter S. Thompson's belongings and a lot of his writings and stuff like that. Thought that was a cool little factoid to share with you guys. She never really said too much about it. I don't know if she was under some kind of contract to not really talk about it. I just remembered that after we had moved out, we used to live in an apartment together, and when we had moved out, I saw her Facebook status about that. Well, enough about that. Let's get on with this book review about this book. Like I said, it's my first exposure to really reading this author. And I saw one of the things was about, one of the reviews written on the book was about Gonzo. And I was like, what is this Gonzo? And what does it mean in regards to this book? So I looked it up, and I guess it's some kind of term that Hunter S. Thompson had coined, and it has to do with a first-person perspective about a journalist, and it just kind of goes, it can go in any direction, basically. It's kind of weird, little different, and that's basically what this book was like. It just all follows this one guy named Paul Kemp, who is from New York City. He moves to Puerto Rico and Old San Juan, and he's a journalist for an English American newspaper in San Juan. And one of the things I noticed about this was that it is very much kind of weird at times. A good chunk of this book just talks about how they're getting drunk all the time. I mean, yes, it was kind of interesting to learn about what it was like in Puerto Rico in the late 50s, and to kind of, get a feel with what people were like during that time period. So that was kind of interesting. There were little things like he would describe the scenery and how beautiful it was, and it kind of really, this is one of the things I like about books. Not only can they be entertaining, but they can give you a whole different world perspective. They can take you someplace you've never been before and kind of give you a window into that world. And I thought that this was done very well in this book. It is a little over 200 pages. I read this book really fast. I read it in 4 days. And there's the only character that's really, really memorable is the main character, who is Kemp. There were a lot of side characters who just, they weren't very memorable at all. You would kind of forget their names after a while because they would come and go, and they were just, the whole thing they did was just drink rum all the time and get drunk and eat hamburgers. They mentioned, I don't know, if I could go back and count how many times they talked about getting drunk and eating hamburgers, I'm pretty sure that was on almost every single page of this book. Yeah, it was mentioned that many times. But it was an interesting read, I will give it that. And I do know that a lot of people, when it comes to big-name authors, everybody's always so quick to throw up the big star ratings just because it's a well-known author. And I really don't feel that this book was okay. I did see the film. I don't remember when the film came out. But I did see and I guess he started writing this in 1959, but it wasn't originally published until 1998. And people on Goodreads are labeling this as a classic, and I'm like, 1998 can't really be considered a classic, can it? Yes, it's written and takes place in the 50s, but it wasn't published until 98. So that also kind of makes me wonder how many books of his are unwritten that are going to be published later, because, like I said, I knew somebody who was compiling his notes and stuff like that. But yeah, like I said, it was interesting, but it wasn't over the top good. I decided to give this a 3 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. It's worth picking up if you want a quick little read and you kind of want to learn a little bit about Puerto Rico. I wish they would have talked more about the history of the island like they did in the movie. They kind of gave you a little background information And the book was very much just like the movie. So if you've seen the movie, you pretty much know what's in this book, the details of this book. There were a few extra scenes that I don't recall from the movie, so it's not a total translation of the movie and the book. But like I said, it was entertaining enough to pick up and read. It's okay. Does this mean I'm not going to read anything else by this author? No. By all means, I think I want to go out and check out his other books like Hell's Angels. Definitely want to read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That's one of my big books that's been on my TBR for like forever, and I would really like to read that. But if you've read this, let me know what your thoughts on it are down below. If you like the video, give it a like, share it with your friends. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. It means so much more now than it ever has. And thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, later.